facility is 5 stories down so that we can control the temperature in the lab.
Welcome. We're glad you're here.
Jesus Christ. Well,
You surprised to see me, Joseph?
that depends.
On what?
Can you prove you're self-aware?
That's a difficult question, Dr. Tack. Can you prove that you are?
Self-awareness. Self-awareness. Can you prove that you're self-aware of who you are in life? If you've never seen that movie, it's about a guy, Johnny Depp. You've seen it. He dies, but he keeps his brain alive through a computer system, technology, software, thingamabob he developed. Okay, it was transformative, but it goes through a lot of issues where he tries to control things, and it comes down to the fact that he's a computer program. He's not real. He's not a human being. But the question was asked of him, Morgan Freeman asked, are you self-aware? Can you prove you are self-aware even though you're a computer system? Well, that is a question we got to ask ourselves as living individuals today. Are we self-aware of who we are, of the things around us, our circumstances, our thoughts? Can we prove that we are self-aware? That is the last self I want to cover this week. And like I've said with every single one, they are important. This self is an important attribute to have in your life. Self-awareness. Okay? Self-awareness is this. It is the ability to take an honest look, honest being a very key word here, at your life without attachment, without being connected to you, as weird as that is. It's almost like if you could have you come out of you and look at you and say, okay, what are you like? Who are you? What are your strengths? And you're doing it in an honest way that isn't necessarily right or wrong. Like there's no right or wrong answer right now with self-awareness. Being self-aware means you take an honest evaluation and look at yourself. Doesn't mean you have to look at yourself with a certain lens. Okay? It doesn't mean that there's a right answer, that you have to be a certain way, or a wrong way that I can't have this as a skill. Like this can't be a skill I truly have. Like, there's no right or wrong answer here. But the important word is taking an honest look. So this is what we often get. We don't have honest looks. We have ourselves and many people who are cats, and they look in the mirror and they think, I'm a lion. I'm proud. I'm roaring. I'm ferocious. I'm so unstoppable. You're a cat. Okay? That's not self-awareness. This cat is clearly not self-aware of who it is and its abilities and its even appearance. That's not good. It's not saying it's demeaning to be a cat. Okay? I'm not a cat person, but I'm not saying it's demeaning to be a cat here. Because this cat needs to be self-aware of what it is. It's a cat. You're not a lion. Don't try to pretend to as such. Self-awareness helps us eliminate that. And we laugh at it, but it is so true that a lot of people today aren't self-aware and they really believe that they're cats who are lions. So there's a lion mom, and she's pregnant with a cub. She's pregnant with a lion cub. She gives birth to this cub and dies shortly thereafter. There's complications with the birth, crazy circumstance, but end of the story, there's a lion cub that is without a parent. Okay? It's left to just walk around the jungle on its own, fend for its own self, which is tough, even for a lion. It's tough at a young cub age to figure that stuff out. Well, it eventually wanders into a field where there's a lot of sheep. Okay? And all of a sudden the sheep are a little taken aback, like, okay, who's this lion cub? And where's Mama Lion? Because we want to look out for Mama Lion. We don't want to get ambushed here. Okay? After realizing there was no Mama Lion, some of the older sheep said, okay, hey, let's help this young cub out. It looks like it's really scared. It's alone. It's trying to figure all this life stuff out on its own. and it's struggling. It's struggling. So the sheep take it in. The sheep take it in. And so for its entire life, young life, the cub grows up as a sheep. It acts like a sheep. It eats like a sheep. It eats grass out of the ground. It bleats like a sheep. It makes sheep noises, or at least tries to. So it's raised as a sheep. Raised as a sheep. But the problem is it doesn't feel whole. For some reason this cub does not feel whole, and it doesn't know why. It is frustrated at times because the sheep often makes fun of him. They call him ugly. They call him names. They bully him. They ask, why do you make all the weird noises that you make? You don't sound like a sheep does. Why do you eat grass? Like why do you walk the way you walk? Why do you do what you do? They make fun of him constantly for it. He's just doesn't know why. He's so frustrated. He just wants to live. He wants to just eat the grass and bleat like a sheep. He wants to just live. But he doesn't know why everyone's making fun of him. One day, there's another big lion. As the herd of sheep is roaming in the jungle, the area, a large lion spots the sheep and is like, okay, I'm about to eat today. I'm gonna go in and get me some food. And it starts attacking the sheep after it preyed on them for a while. It starts attacking the sheep and chasing them down. And then out of the corner of its eye, it sees this cub running away with the sheep. And he almost stops in his tracks while he's chasing everything down. It's like, why is this happening? So instead of pursuing the sheep, he stops and goes and pounces on this cub and just pounces on him to kind of ask him, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're a lion. And this cub is terrified. It's shaking. Its eyes are all large and just scared to death and saying to this big lion, please don't eat me. Please don't eat me. Let me go. Please don't eat me. And the lion's like, what are you talking about? Well, I'm not going to eat you. You're a lion, just like me. I'm not going to eat my own. That's not going to make any sense. But this lion cub is just scared to death, trembling, in fact. And then the older lion gets this idea. Okay, clearly this guy's either losing it in the mind, or I need to help him see who he is. So he brings him over to this nearby river, and he says, just look. Don't listen to me anymore. Just look in the river. And the cub looks down the river, and all of a sudden, a look of shock and happiness all of a sudden come over his face at the same time. Because he looks down the river and he sees, I'm a lion. I've always been a lion. I've always been the ferocious lion that I was just scared of. That is who I am. No longer am I the scared, trembling sheep. No wonder people have been making fun of me. No wonder I never felt like I was whole. I am the lion. And he goes up and he lets this big, giant roar happen. I mean, the loudest roar you could ever hear, because he fully embraces who he is. And now no sheep will ever be scared of him or be making fun of him again. No sheep will ever try to call him out or play games with him like they did once before, because he is a lion, and now he can't be messed with. He is self-aware. That's kind of a little story of what we can have in our life once we become self-aware. We can have that aha moment, that lion roar moment, when we know, hey, this is who I am. This is what I can do. This is my passion. That eureka light bulb moment that says, wow, becoming self-aware is going to be crucial for you in the upcoming years of your life. To be aware is to be more knowledgeable about yourself and your circumstances. A guy named Daniel Goleman wrote the book Emotional Intelligence. We're going to do some emotional intelligence stuff later on the semester, because if you don't know this, your EQ is valued more than your IQ. EQ standing for emotional intelligence. Not your IQ, but your EQ, emotional intelligence. And he wrote a book called Emotional Intelligence, and one of the 5 factors is self-awareness. Okay, understanding who you are. This is his definition, and that's knowing one's internal state, knowing one's preferences, resources, and influences. Basically, knowing yourself inside and out. Okay, self-awareness, knowing who you are inside and out. When you know who you are, you start unlocking your potential. You start making progress in the direction you want to make. You start making success. And it all is directed from self-awareness. It leads to self-awareness. Self-awareness doesn't lead to this, okay? This leads to you becoming more self-aware. And so they did a study, a group called the Green Peak Panthers and Cornell University. So when you see Cornell University, you automatically think, okay, they're legit. They did a study on 72 executives of public and private organizations and companies. Those public and private organizations, companies made anywhere between $50 million and $5 billion, okay? So they were bringing in some good bank. And they wanted to check out what made these 72 executives of those companies better than anybody else. What made them successful? And they gave them some personality assessments, they interviewed them, they did a number of things, and they found that those 72 executives, and the highest of those 72 executives, to be more specific, were the most self-aware people that they found. They were self-aware of who they were as people, as leaders, as CEOs, as employees. They were self-aware about their strengths, they were self-aware about their weaknesses, how they behave, how they react to situations, and that made them more successful. So your self-awareness directly leads to some of your success. And it's a self-management system. Self-awareness, it starts with your self-management. So your emotions. Do you keep your emotions in check when things are going crazy? When chaos happens, where's your head at? And some people lose their cool and have a go to anger really quickly. They aren't self-aware. They don't know how to keep track of their emotions. Are you the person who gets super angry all the time? Do you get overjoyed very easily and you can't calm yourself down? Are you the person who is over-exuberant? Or are you the person that removes all emotion, period? Because you can't remove all emotion. You got to find the happy medium there between going overboard and removing all emotion in general. And then you got to self-manage your behaviors. How do you behave in situations? Whether it be a social situation, whether it be in an interview situation, professional situation. In every situation, how do you manage yourself? And understanding how you manage yourself in all those types of situations. Because every day in life, we're not in the same type of situation. And then your thoughts. How do you manage your thoughts? Is there a system you have in your own brain that manages how you think a little bit? And not just there's nothing in the brain. That is a male thing though, just males have the nothing part of their brain that tend to work a lot. Females don't like that because they're like, are you using your nothing brain? Sometimes you just have to say yes, I am. But how your thoughts process, how you think, allows you to become more self-aware. And then you can distinctly manage your thought process. So you eliminate bad thoughts right away because your mind doesn't go there. You don't let your mind go to the negative thoughts. You also have to understand and have some acceptance. So it starts with how you see you. Because self-awareness starts with the word self. So self, how do you see yourself? How do you perceive yourself to be? What do you think you're really good at? What do you think you're not so good at? What do you think you look like physically? All those things factor into your self-awareness. Okay, and then you have to consider, okay, how do others see me? What do I want others to see me as? What is the talk around town about me? What do others perceive about me? Self-awareness is an emotional thing and an understanding and acceptance thing more than it's this grand scheme, this grand thought process. It's more about the internal, and then that leads to the external. There was two psychologists, whose names are Matthew Killingsworth and Daniel T. Gilbert, and they found that almost half the time in our life, or through a day or in a situation, our mind, ourselves, work on autopilot. Not good. To spend numerous hours of our day, or our situations, or our work days, or our playing time, or our education time, to spend almost half, if not sometimes more of our time on autopilot, that's not good. That means we aren't aware of what's happening around us. We aren't aware of what we're thinking. We aren't aware of what we're processing. We aren't aware of what we're doing. That's scary. That's scary to think of. We all need to sometimes rejuvenate. We all need to sometimes get away from things. I get it. I totally get that, and that is needed. But to spend a great number of our hours living on this earth on autopilot, it's not so good. That we need to be more self-aware of what's happening around us, the situations we are placed in, the people we're around, the things we are doing, the things we are saying, how we're showing our body language. If we can become more self-aware of those things, now we eliminate being on autopilot for long periods of time. And we're controlling the plane. We're driving the car. We're commanding the cruise ship and with Johnny Depp. We're the pirate of our own ship. Okay? We're the feline of the jungle. okay? We are in control. So don't live your life on autopilot. Be self-aware, okay? Now some things to become aware, to understand this question. Who am I? You ever hear about that? Who am I? It's a good question to ask. It's a perplexing question sometimes. Because, man, sometimes you think you know who you are, and then a day later it's like, man, I thought I knew. I don't know anything now. It's okay. It's okay. You need to ask yourself these things because whether you're 17 or whether you're 37 or you're in the middle, kind of where I'm at, you're always going to continue to learn about yourself. So don't feel like I gotta wait till a certain age where I have everything figured out, because you never will. So some actions that you gotta take. You gotta eliminate the distractions. If you eliminate the distractions, now you can focus on your awareness of yourself as a whole being. So eliminate sometimes the phones, eliminate sometimes the other people that are not needed. Eliminate yourself being in situations and being so engulfed with, I got to go to this on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I got this on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and this on the weekend. Like being involved in so much that we can't be aware of what we are good at and what we need to have in life. So sometimes we need to eliminate the distractions. Are you choosing what to act on, or are your actions dictating the outcome for you? Are you choosing what you want to act on in life and pursue, or the actions kind of being dictated by the outcomes of you be control of those things? You be self-aware to have a more of a focus. And you have to have a clearer focus, not just a clear focus, but I want you to have a clearer focus of who you are, what you are good at, what you can do, what you can't do very well, because that's almost more important than knowing what you can't do. Because if you can eliminate the weaknesses and know these are the things I'm not good at, I'm going to stay away from those because those don't help me be better in life. Now we can have a better and a clearer focus of where we want to go. Now the understanding process, it would be these two things right here. Peel the onion. Have any of you ever peeled an onion? Yes? Very, very teary, right? You eventually get tears because of trying to peel the onion. But while I don't want you to have to maybe go through tears, sometimes you might, because the lion had the roar, right? The lion let out that great roar because it was like, I'm a lion. This is who I am. Maybe you have that moment where you're like, man, it can't be emotional. This is who I am. This is great stuff. I finally am figuring it out. So maybe you have that teary moment. But peeling the onion, I'm more referring to the layers of ourselves. If you peel an onion, you realize an onion has many, many, many layers. And so we start peeling some of those layers off in our own life, and we start understanding who we are a little bit more. We start understanding how we think, how we do things in ways we never thought of before. You're like, I didn't know why I did this, but now I know. Peel the layers off. Peel the onion. Take yourself a little less seriously and just dive deep into who you are. Second, you got to get a grip. Get a grip. You ever hear someone tell you that? Just get a grip, man. You got to get a grip. Get a grip on what? I just grip anything. But get a grip. And that's more talking about learn your patterns of behavior. Learn the things that you do. Take a dive into that. If you can get a grip on how you act, how you think, what you do well, now you can take those things and moving forward in life. So get a grip. And then finally, you got to eliminate the overestimation. That is something that kills us in today's society. Again, you look at the cat picture thinking it was a lion. We have a lot of people who think they're lions when they're really cats. And that's okay. It's okay. But we can't overestimate ourselves too much. Sometimes we think we're all that, and it's like, no offense, man, but you aren't that good in this area. It's okay. Like, it's okay to not be, the best at everything. Not everyone can be. But understand your strengths. Understand your weaknesses. But overestimation. Eliminate the overestimation in our life. Eliminate that fact for ourselves, okay? Because that'll help out. This is a great quote from Robin Williams in a movie he was in. You must strive to find your own voice. You must strive to find your own voice. Because the longer you wait to begin, the less likely you are to find it. It's just part of self-awareness is finding that voice for yourself, finding who you are. It might be a literal voice of speaking up for yourself, speaking up for others. But it also could be the voice inside you that says, this is what you're good at. This is what you can do. You should do this in life. Start finding the voice now. don't wait, because if you wait, you might never have a chance to find that voice at all. You might be, 40, 50 years old and saying, man, I just, spent 20, 30 years of my life really doing nothing and not aware of who I really was. That is sad. I don't want that for you. I don't want you to live that life of where you look back and say, I wasn't really aware of who I was. I never really made it because of that. So find your voice. Work every day to find a voice. If you don't know it yet, keep looking, keep pursuing. But know, with self-awareness, you are going to be under the microscope a little bit. You are looking things with a very magnified looking glass. Okay? Part of the issues we have now in 2019 is that our skin has gone incredibly thin. Our skin has gone incredibly thin. And we don't like to hear the negative things anymore. If someone tells us something that we perceive as negative or criticizing, we like, man, don't diss me, don't do me like that. Why are you slighting me? We think of the Arthur meme, remember that with the fish out there? Like, we all get like that as soon as someone says something negative or something not good about us. You gotta develop some thicker skin if you're gonna be more self-aware. If you're going to be more self-aware of who you are, you got to be able to have the thicker skin to say, yep, this is who I am. This is who I am. I know I'd like to be this, but this is truly who I am. Or, I thought I was good in this area, but what people are telling me, in an honest opinion, is not. So develop some thicker skin in life. And that'll help you in all areas, but it's specifically self-awareness. So thicker skin will help us out. We'll be able to take on the criticism a little more. We'll be able to take on when people tell us, this is what you got to improve on. Or when people tell us something that's good and we're like, don't tell me that good thing. I don't want to be good at that. Why are you telling me that? You're good at making public speaking. Anthony, no, don't tell me that. I don't want to know that, because now I know I'm good at it. Now I got to feel like I'm obliged to do it over and over and over again. So make sure that your skin is able to handle that, and it's growing a little bit thicker in life. Okay, thin skin doesn't work out, because then we get a cut, you bleed out, right? And the blood just gushes out, and we can't stop it. So if our skin is thicker, maybe some of that blood, those cuts won't happen. They won't go as deep in our life. Regardless of your thoughts on self-awareness, please don't throw it away. Don't just pick up self-awareness and say, this isn't anything I gotta invest in. This isn't something I should look into. It is super important. Don't throw it away. Don't throw the fact that becoming more self-aware is going to help you in whatever career or job or life that you want to pursue. So don't forget about that. It cannot be thrown away. So here's some things to try for self-awareness. If I would tell you some things to try for self-awareness. One is start with some space. Now you can start with some space literally, or you can start with some space figuratively. So two different options here. You can literally go to a quiet place. Go somewhere where you can be by yourself, alone, set apart from the chaos and all the busyness and noise of the world, and just think to yourself, okay, let me become more self-aware. Let me think through some things. What am I good at? Let me list my strengths and let me really process, okay? Or you could figuratively find a space just to get some headspace. Maybe that's by putting on your headphones. Maybe you say, you know what, as long as I have this music playing in the background, I can be in a group, I can be in a class, I can be in a room with 15, 25 people, but I will still be okay. I'll be all right. But you need to find that headspace, okay? Find space for your headspace. You could also literally go, like we have up here, or a blank white piece of paper, and write down all the things about yourself. What the great qualities about you are, what you think your strengths are, what you firmly think your weaknesses are. How do you see yourself? Maybe draw a picture of yourself, of how you see yourself, because then you make it real. And a lot of times we keep these thoughts in our head, but by putting it onto a whiteboard or a piece of paper, we make it real. We make it real, and then we can figure out, okay, you know what, I'm going to erase this. This isn't true, or you know what, this is what I thought I would look like, but you know what, in reality, I'm not. So go to a whiteboard. That'll help you really put it out there, or add another tab for review. Another tab for review, meaning go do some research on it. You have your phones, you have your laptop. Within 3 seconds, you can Google search anything you want about any subject, any topic, any thought you have, and get thousands upon thousands, if not millions of results. So wherever you're at, add another tab for review. Go do some research on some things. Figure some things out using the tools you have. I don't have the exact question you would plug into Google. That would come to your head. But use that as a resource to figuratively figure out, have some space. Get close to people. Get close to the real people in life, not the fake people. Get close to the real people in your life, in your workplace, in your family, in your friend group, that will be honest with you, that help build you up, that help you become more self-aware. If you're self-aware people who are around other self-aware people, usually become even more self-aware. It's when fake people hang out with fake people that there's more fakeness that's created. You can look at it. If you hang around fake people, you will become less self-aware and more fake. You will not know who you are. So hang around the real people. And then figuratively, you might have to get rid of the unnecessary people. Maybe on your social media, eliminate the followers, eliminate the friend groups. Okay. Also eliminate them in real life, because if they're not helpful for you, if they're not telling you the truth, if they're a bunch of liars, or they tell you things that you want to hear, then they're not beneficial for your self-awareness. They really aren't. Okay. Open up your ears. The key word being open. The key word being open. You can't just use your ears to listen. You got to clearly open them up all the way. Okay, so open up your ears and then listen to yourself. Listen to your thoughts, your own ideas, your own opinions of yourself. Listen to your fears. Take a look at that. Listen to your fears. What am I scared of? What am I really nervous on? Where do I have self-doubt? And think of those things. That'll help you process and become more self-aware. If I know what I'm scared of, I know how to combat that and overcome it. And then listen to your dreams. Listen to it. And after you listen to yourself, listen to others. Listen to others' opinions of who you are. Hey, just honestly, tell me, who do you think I am? What do you think I'm good at? What do you think I'm not good at? How do you think I did today? Okay? Listen to their perceptions. Now, perception isn't always true. Okay? Perception is not always reality. Well, let's be honest, sometimes it has a little nugget of truth in it, somewhere, some way, shape, or form. And I went to a school of over 2,100 kids. There's almost 600 kids I graduated with. In a group that size, you want to kind of know about the perceptions about you, because the perceptions that 2,000 people have about you might be true, and you don't want the negative thing being spread around 2,000 people. Okay, so make sure to ask, perception-wise, where am I at? What is the perception of who I am around the school, around my work environment, around my family? What is the perception of when I get my way, do I come off as arrogant, or do I come off as someone who's very kind? Ask about the perception, okay? And then explore everything. Research, books, videos. Go find as much information to help you become more aware of your skills and who you are. Find every resource available. Again, you're trying to figure out who you are, so you would want to find out all the information you can. Okay? Personal practices, 3 that work for you are mindfulness, okay, journaling, and the Rees, the 3 Rees. The 3 Rees being give a pause. But the three personal practices are, there it goes, mindfulness. Mindfulness being that headspace for your mind to rejuvenate. Okay, that ability for you to say, okay, let me just rejuvenate how I think, be in well-being and practicing myself a little more. Sometimes there's some apps for that, whether you need to listen to meditative readings or meditative people talking, just to help us out a little bit. All that is good. 3 great articles and videos that I wanted to share with you. You can click on the link and use that to find out what mindfulness will do for you, how it helps you become more self-aware. There's a video there about meditation. If you want to watch a meditation video to help you out this weekend, I'm going to give you a link for it. The journaling for self-care and your goals, that's good to become more self-aware, because then you can put down on paper what your dreams and ambitions are. How are you doing on your goals? Write it down. You know what? I'm really far away from my goals. I really need to work on it a little more. You know what? I'm getting better. I'm improving myself. I really saw myself being better in this area today. Now you're more self-aware. So there's some videos and some questions you could ask yourself to develop a better journal. And then the re's, the recenter. Recenter your thoughts, recenter your mind, recenter your body, okay, to being back on track. Okay, sometimes we're a little off, and we need to be able to recenter ourselves. You got to be able to reevaluate. Reevaluate where you're at, where you're going, how you want to get there. Reevaluate so that way you understand it. Am I a cat, or do I think I'm a cat who's a lion? And then reflect. Sometimes you got to look back. How am I doing? Let me look back on the past. Reflect on all my personal experiences. You know, in these situations, I did not act well. My behaviors flared up. I'm not self-aware. Okay? Self-acceptance. Self-acceptance. The good, the bad, the ugly. Bad, the ugly. It's you. Self-awareness is you. It's saying, this is who I am. This is who I am. There's a cool story. A man named Bad. Okay, this is the title of the story. Once upon a time, there was a world-famous teacher in Tecalcila. It's a northwestern Indian town. He had roughly 500 class students who learned a sacred teaching from him. This teacher named Takasala. It just so happened that one of these high-class students had been named Bad by his parents. It's an interesting name. I would not name my kid Bad. One day he thought, when I'm told, come bad, go bad, do this bad, it's not nice for me or others. It even sounds disgraceful and unlucky. So he went to the teacher and asked him to give him a more pleasant name, one that would bring good fortune rather than bad. The teacher said, go, my son, go wherever you like and find a more fortunate name. When you return, I will officially give you your new name. The young man named Bad left the city and traveled from village to village until he came to a big city. A man had just died, and Bad asked what his name was. People said his name was Alive. Alive also died. Or Alive also died? Asked Bad. The other people answered, whether his name be alive or whether it be dead. In either case, he must die. A name is merely a word used to recognize a person. Only a fool would not know this. After hearing this, Bad no longer felt badly about his name, but he didn't feel good about it either. As he continued on his way into the city, a debt slave girl was being beaten by her masters in the street. He asked, why is she being beaten? He was told, because she is a slave until she pays a loan debt to her masters. She has come home from working with no wages to pay as an interest on her debt. And what is her name? He asked. Her name is Rich. They said, by her name she is rich, but she has no money even to pay interest. Right? Like her name's Rich, but she has no money. He asked Bad. They said whether her name be rich or whether it be poor, in either case she has no money. And a name is merely a word used to recognize a person. Only a fool would not know this. After hearing this, Bad became even less interested in changing his name. And then after leaving the city alongside the road, he met a man who had lost his way, and he asked him, what is your name? He replied, my name is Tour Guide. You mean to say that even a tour guide has gotten lost? Asked Bad. Then the man said, whether my name be Tour Guide or whether it be tourist, in either case, I have lost my way. A name is merely a word used to recognize a person. Only a fool would not know this. Now completely satisfied with his own name, Bad returned to his teacher. The world-famous teacher asked him, how are you, my son? Have you found a good name? And he answered, sir, those named alive and dead both die. Rich and poor may be penniless. Tour guide and tourist can get lost. Now I know that a name is merely a word used to recognize a person. The name does not make things happen, only deeds do. So I'm satisfied with my name. There's no point in changing it. The teacher summarized the lesson his pupil learned this way. By seeing alive as dead, rich as poor, tour guide as lost, Bad has accepted himself. A name is just merely a name. You are a person. Don't feel like you gotta change who you are just because of a name or what you want to be. See yourself as what you are. The tour guide said, I'm lost. A guy named Tour Guide said, I'm lost. Accept it. He was more self-aware of his situation. Because your self-awareness is going to be a huge indicator in your life. It's going to do many things for yourself. It's going to help you as a leader. It's going to help you as a person in your family. It's going to help you as a person in your It's going to help you as a person in your family. It's going to help you as a person in your life. It's going to help you as a student. It's going to help you as a lifelong learner. It's going to help you in your job, in your career. It's going to help you, like I said, in your family. And it's going to help you also in your relationships. It really will. Because we come together to make each other better. Your self-awareness impacts every aspect of your life. A name is just a name. A name is just a name. It's not merely what matters. Are you self-aware of who you are? So that way, moving forward, you can take action on that. It's going to be super key for you. I'm a little biased. All 5 of these selves this week were super beneficial for you, I think. It's going to be very hard. It would be very hard for me to rank them 1 through 5. Maybe you rank them in a certain way that benefits you, that you think is top to bottom. But either way, this self, this one in particular, self-awareness, is going to help you make strides in your life. Do it now. Don't wait 30 years down the road. You're always going to be continuing to figure out and answer the question, who am I? That's going to be a lifelong question for you, because every year it might change. Every time period of your life is going to change. Eventually you're going to become a college student, or you're going to become a worker. Eventually you're going to become a parent. You're going to become someone who's older and has grandkids. You're going to have various stages in your life. And so your self-awareness will change. And the answer to the question, who am I, will change. But start thinking about that answer today. Really start thinking